Breaking news. I'm done. I'm done. I don't care who says I sound stupid. I don't care. I am no longer a piggy bank for the United States federal government.
But I think in general, not going to give Democrats advice. Americans need to listen to each other more, and politicians need to listen to their voters. And I think that there has been so much of focus grouping, and this is what campaign messengers say, and this is what this surrogate says. And people were screaming, it is the economy, it is the cost of living. Now, we could debate. Things are not good in the economy right now. Donald Trump has not fixed it. But I think that there was...
The bodegas are selling eggs for $3 a piece.
What I want to give George Clooney props for, and I'm always going to praise him for this, he was right. The country was saying, we may love Joe Biden. He is too old and you need someone else. If they had listened 6 months earlier, it might have been a different outcome.
You know, looking back is always easy to do.
Listen to the voters.
That ship has sailed.
But when 70% of voters are saying we have concerns about his age, just being like, you don't know, we know better, it just doesn't work. You have to listen to people.
Right. Okay, we'll be right back.
Yes, Democrats are now attacking voters for reasons I don't get. They didn't listen. Now, they are suffering as a result of that. They still continue to make the same mistakes every single day. I watched CNN today. It came out that this is even affecting Democrats the more. While Republicans are on the upper side, Trump is doing something that the voters actually agree upon. When you take a look at Cackling the View, this ghetto Democrat actually attacked this lady.
Trump's net approval rating overall, look at this. He's at plus 3 points. He's been above water. He's been above water his entire second term, excuse me. Look among independents, though. He's way underwater. He's at minus 10 points. Normally you win independents, therefore you win the middle. But in fact, Trump is doing the exact opposite. He is winning overall, but losing among independents. And this looks an awful bit like what happened in the fall election, where, of course, Kamala Harris won among independents, but Donald Trump won overall. Trump is repeating this playbook, breaking history, doing poorly with independents, but doing considerably better than he did in term number one, overall being above water.
Okay, so what is the reason for this, that he's posting, basically overall, he's up, but you're seeing this, and what's the reason?
This makes no sense, you might think, but what's going on here? Well, first off, what's going on here is, remember in term one, there was all that big opposition of Donald Trump. Democrats hated him. Well, right now, Trump's net approval rating among Democrats is underwater, way underwater at minus 78 points. But the Trump base is consolidated behind the Republican president to an extent that we really did not necessarily see in term number one. Look at this. His net approval rating is plus 84 points. So more Republicans are behind Donald Trump than Democrats are opposed to Donald Trump, and that is lifting him up and giving him that positive net approval rating, despite the fact that he's losing among Democrats and losing among independents.
So are there other groups in this that are making this, different? I mean, independents, Democrats, Republicans, isn't that everybody?
Yeah, that is everybody. But it's not just the margins that you post among these groups. It's what percentage of the electorate that they make up. And Donald Trump and the Republican Party has changed the electorate. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at party identification, Democrats versus Republicans. You go back to 2017, 5 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. You go to 2021 when Joe Biden was starting out, look at that. 6 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. But look at what's happened in February of 2025. Look at this. Republicans, there are more Republicans in the electorate than there are Democrats. Republican plus 2. So Donald Trump and the Republicans have remade the electorate. They've turned some people over from being Democrats or independents to become Republicans. New folks have entered the electorate who are more Republican leaning. And so when you combine that with the fact that Republicans are really, really behind Donald Trump, all of a sudden you get a winning recipe whereby you break the normal rules of politics and give Donald Trump that positive net approval rating when he had pretty much a consistently negative one in term number one. As I said at the beginning, he's copying Frank Sinatra, doing it my way.
I just want to remark on how you have Meg the Stallion knees, because the fact that you could go that low.
I can go low.
Yeah.
I can go high. That's an Elon Musk.
He has no idea what I'm talking about right now with Meg the Stallion, but we will move on and send it over to Kate.
Yes, when you take a look at this, you can clearly see that his momentum can be stopped. When you look at independents, those that said, oh, I was a Republican, I really wanted to go left, they have switched over to the Republican Party, while Democrat side, they did the same. When you take a look at these polls, it clearly shows you how it is unstoppable. At a certain point, when I look at what Trump is doing, these approval ratings will increase the more as the days proceed. Now, look at this. Trump promised a lot of things, and he is doing just exactly what he promised voters. Reason when I see through Twitter people saying, "This is what I voted for," whatever thing Democrat criticize, it is not my concern.
Ask you about Democrats. You're obviously like leading next generation voice in the Democratic Party. And while Trump is moving at this breakneck pace, it feels like signing all these EOs, doing these long-ranging press conferences in the Oval Office, Democrats seem to not be getting their footing on what the message and strategy is to push back. We think of the leaders chanting, "We will win," outside of Treasury, which was widely panned. You've talked about Democrats needing a branding overhaul. Are you satisfied with the approach so far, and what do they need to do to kind of get their mojo back?
You know what? I think that just like the rest of the world, we've got a bit of whiplash because for some people, even those that voted for him, they said, well, we've been here before. And we didn't fall apart the last time he was here, so we won't fall apart this time. And so I think that while we had the playbook right there for us, Project 2025, I still think that even some Democrats were like, oh, well, he's just going to do what he did last time. And he's not. World leaders are recognizing that he's not the same. I mean, he's 10 times worse. And imagine that. This is the guy that oversaw how many deaths during COVID, right? And now we had Ebola breakout. Now we've got measles breakout. Like this is bird flu because they were some of the other people that got fired.
USDA firings.
Yeah, no. And he's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Like this is just literally not even partisanship, in my opinion, at this point. This is incompetence. And I think that, no, seriously, it's incompetence. And I know earlier y'all was talking about bring back the Bushes. I'm with you, honey. Like, listen.
Gets to my next question, which is, for all of the criticisms that exist of Donald Trump, he right now has a 53% approval rating. It's higher than it's ever been. 70% believe that he's fulfilling his promises, and 45% believe Democrats should be more moderate. What do you take away? I think there's a lot to make of those numbers, but what's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway is just like the election. We've got to do better at education. People don't understand, but you will understand when those hospitals in rural America start closing down even more. You will understand when you don't have your Social Security. You will understand when your Medicaid, your Medicare goes away. You will understand as planes continue to fall out of the sky. Soon you will understand why it's important to maybe have somebody that isn't loud and ridiculous, and maybe Sleepy Joe is what we wanted because we could at least sleep at night.
Yes, we have seen how this lady moved from shouting every single time. When I look at her, I usually question, like, why are you even allowing ghetto into Congress? There is nothing about this lady that actually impressed me. When I watch her even in Congress, what she put up every single time, she want to trend on social media. Reason she's always doing this. She said something, oh, better we should have Sleepy Joe so we can sleep at night. Oh, plane crashes. Oh, it is insane. It is insane. I understand the kind of play games they put out. Oh, Trump is to be blamed for the plane crash. Trump is to be doing every single thing. They would do this. And American people are wise. They are not fools again. At first, Democrat could manipulate them to that kind of level where they will, maybe start rethinking their choices. It is difficult now. Yeah. There is nothing that is happening that they don't know. No matter how they struggle to push a certain narrative, what is going on with Elon Musk right now, at a certain point, they will realize it is hurting them. They will stop it is like the Trump derangement syndrome that we saw last time. Oh, Trump, 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 Trump. If you notice, it has even reduced a little bit. They don't cut clips out of context, to lie to people. Because this is where there are tactics that are usually put out. Now they focus on Elon Musk, blame game. That is what is going on. When you look at Trump approval ratings, Democrats want these people to be a little bit moderate. They should not be the way they are right now. But they still can learn that this is their weakness. I don't know when they are going to learn, because if things are not the right way, they will continue to fall behind. That is a simple truth. That is just based on what I know, what I observe every single day.
And you people still don't get it. You don't get it. I voted for Donald Trump, black Trump supporter, voted for Donald Trump to do what he's doing.
Meet Michelle King. She's been with Social Security since 1994. And last night when you were sleeping or you're just waking up, she stepped down, she stepped aside.
These people can't conspire right now because all their phones are tapped.
Absolutely.
Yes, what I've learned from this is that if you are not guilty of anything, you will not panic. If you see people panicking like they have something to hide.
I'm sure he's worth $1 billion.
Yes, thank you guys for always been sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you see videos after this, please don't focus on that. That is just for the algorithm. You can end here.
So last night, Sean Hannity aired his sit-down with the world's most powerful man.
And a thug who is the president of the United States, U.S., it's everywhere.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits. A chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government.
Also, I got to say, don't you agree? I totally agree.
Essential.
Early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10 to her.
No, the EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And
awful things have happened. So and sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are somebody in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking straight. Remember it.
Country about and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know. Jordan.
Josh Green, the governor. Watch the news or talk.
Now, look, I have a lot of...
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today...
Oh, thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I...
In common, they're all terrified of Ronan Farrow.
Is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires.
Those are on Team Chiefs. Literally right next to us was Taylor Swift. Those are boo.
In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world.
I'm divorcing my husband because